welcome to another episode of Weekly Dose of K-Culture. I'm your host Alexi, and I have a special edition, like K-pop edition for you today, where I talk about one specific K-pop group. And who is that group, you may ask? I had to select BTS because they recently won Album of the Year at the Melon Music Awards 2016, and they're growing in fan size and they have so many accomplishments to celebrate for. So, what are some of those accomplishments, you may ask? So basically, two of the albums, so The Most Beautiful in Life Part 2 and The Most Beautiful in Life Young Forever, have been on the Billboard 200 chart, which is a big thing as well. But they actually became number one on the Billboard's Social 50 chart, which is the first Korean group to top the chart. So it's a big accomplishment for them as well. Another thing is their album, one of the album, Wings, was number one on iTunes in over 26 countries. So you can tell how many countries are loving BTS at the moment. And it was also number 26 on the Billboard 200 chart as well. And then on Twitter, they are the most retweeted artist according to Forbes, and the research was done in March 2016. So amongst all of the groups that you can think of for the music, and that doesn't really limit to Korea, it can be like United States, it can be Europe, it can be UK, they're the most retweeted artists. So you can tell how many fans are loving them, how many fans want to share the information. And also they are the first ever K-pop Twitter emoji, so they have the emoji that's dedicated to them, and that's the first for the Korean group. So you can tell they're becoming quite big at the moment. And then the latest music they released, Blood, Sweat and Tears, it actually went on the UK official albums chart, and I think it's one of the first K-pop group to chart the UK album chart, and UK album chart is quite hard to get into, so it's a massive accomplishment for them. So that is a reason why I had to talk about BTS, and I know that a lot of my friends and a lot of you guys are interested in the BTS and wanted to find out more about them. So hopefully today I should be able to answer to some of your curiosity. So who are the BTS? So BTS is made out of 7 members, and as you can tell, that's pretty much an average number of members for a Korean group, because they start from number 3, but they can even go up to like 10 members or 13 members. So 7, I think, is pretty much average. So talking about the oldest member within the group, and that member is Jin, and his real name is Kim Seok-jin, and he was born on the 4th of December 1992 in Gwacheon, which is a little area within Seoul, capital city of Korea. And then we have Suga, and his real name is Min Yoongi, and he was born on the 9th of March 1993 in Daegu. And ever since August 2016, he has been working in the hip-hop scene as August D. So the name actually comes from, I think he said his crew back in Daegu was called DT. So August D is backward is DT Suga. So that's where the name comes from. There you go. And then we have J-Hope, which is a dance machine within BTS, and his real name is Jung Ho-sung, and he was born on the 18th of February 1994 in Gwangju, so only 4 days after the Valentine's Day. Then we have the leader of the group called Red Monster, and his name is Kim Namjoon, and he was born on the 12th of September 1994 in Ilsan. And ever since March 2015, he has been working in the hip-hop scene as a soloist as well, under the same name. So when I first got to know about BTS, and I heard the name 방탄소년단, and also like Suga, J-Hope, and Red Monster, it actually put me off a bit, and I thought that, you know what, it's another cheesy group, the group's not gonna be big, and whoa, was I wrong. The group is massive now, and I kind of regret saying that, because if they knew that I said this, they wouldn't be happy. So they're massive now, and I think the name's growing on me right now. And then some of the members, thank goodness, some of the members decide to keep their own name, so minus the last name. So one of the member is Jimin, and his full name is Park Jimin, so Park being the last name, and he was born on the 13th of October 1995 in Busan. That's only 2 days after my birthday. I mean, years different, obviously, but I think I have a close connection to Jimin because of that. Just kidding. And then we have V, whose real name is Kim Tae-young, and he was born on the 30th of December 1996 in Daegu. And finally, we have Jungkook, who used his real name as well. So his full name is Jeon Jung-gu, and he was born on the 1st of September 1997 in Busan. So a lot of the BTS members are from the southern eastern part of Korea, where they use dialect and different accent. So they said everybody adapted to the common like a Seoul dialect that everybody uses, but Jungkook is the one who had a hardest time trying to fix the accent and dialect, and therefore he still has a bit of the dialect coming out. So I think I feel a kind of connection to Suga, Jimin, V, and Jungkook for that, because I do speak a bit of that dialect myself as well. So the original members were chosen by Big Hit through audition that was held from 2010 to 2011, and some of the members eventually left the group or left to another company, and finally the current member, which is the final members, were decided on in 2012. So half a year before their debut, they interacted with their fans through Twitter, video blogs, fan cafe posts, YouTube, and SoundCloud to release information about news about them. Also release music and asking fans to decide on a name for them. So they had a lot of interaction with fans even before they debuted. So, who were the members before they debuted? So, we now know they're the members of BTS, and they're amazing at dancing, singing, and rapping, and etc. And they're very good looking as well. But who were they before they became BTS? Well, I got the answer for you. You know, it wouldn't be a special edition about BTS if I didn't have this information, right? So, talking about Red Monster, the leader of the group, he actually was working in the underground hip-hop scene since 2013, and he even collaborated with Zico from Block B before he became the Block B. You know, Zico from Block B, obviously. So I actually heard a lot about Zico before, but I never heard about Red Monster before, so I kind of feel bad. So sorry, Red Monster. If I knew you back then, I would have loved you more. Jin was your ordinary typical university student you may see on the street. So he was the student of arts, performing arts, and acting in Konkuk University. So, you know, he was just a normal person before he became the idol. And then Suga was also an underground rapper in Daegu. And Jaehyuk was really popular for his dancing skills. So he was in a street dance team called Neuron, and he was very popular because he was amazing at dancing. So he will go onto the street to perform, and everybody will be becoming their fan right away. Jimin was also a top student in the modern dance in Busan High School of Arts. And he actually moved to Seoul Arts High School together with V. So that's how they met and became good friends. And Jungkook was scouted by different companies. But then he actually decided to audition for Superstar K, and finally deciding to go with Big Hit. So if he was scouted by another company before, or if Jungkook decided to go with another company, he wouldn't have become BTS, and we would never have met him as Jungkook from BTS. So thank you, Jungkook, for staying with Big Hit and becoming part of BTS. So they debuted on the 13th of June 2013 with the album Too Cool for School, and that was the first album of BTS's school trilogy. So they had a lot of trilogy about school and being a student and trying to survive everyday life as a student, and that was one of the first album. And that album actually won them a lot of New Artists of the Year awards. So they were the big rising star at the time of the debut. Their fan club name is called ARMY, and their cheering stick is in the shape of bomb. So 방탄소년단, which is BTS, also is a bulletproof boys, and ARMY and bomb. I think that whole means that everything means, you know, I'm going to bomb the music scene, and I'm going to become the next best thing. So it has a very powerful meaning, powerful image to it, and ARMYs are actually known to be very nice, like me, because I'm ARMY too. and I love V the most. So they have been in a lot of reality shows. All of the members had been in the reality show, and they had their own reality show as well. And one of them was American Hustler. I think that was the name of it. Where they actually went to America to meet legendary American hip hop artists, to learn from them and to really find out what it is to become a hip hop artist. And the another show which I was really fan of was called Rookie King Channel Bangtan. And obviously that show actually parodied a lot of other shows like cooking show or sports related show. So the Bangtan members, like BTS members, were participating in different events every episode, and it was really fun to watch because you got to know BTS as a group and also BTS as an individual human being. I wanted to really talk about some of the songs that they came up with, but I wanted to do it in an interesting way. So the one way I wanted to do it was talking about different music videos they came out with and my personal opinion on it. For example, who I think was the best looking from the video, because I wanted to make it exciting and interesting for you guys. So the first music video that I came across with from 방탄소년단 was Bulletproof. And to be honest, I really loved the song, but I didn't really love the music video because I thought the image they were trying to pull was too weird for my taste. So the clothes style was really weird, and just the accessory they were wearing, like the hats, glasses, I thought it was too much. So I wasn't a big fan of the image, like the group itself, but I was a big fan of music. But then I came across 상남자, which is Boy in Love, and that's the moment when I became the massive fan of BTS. So, talking about one of the music video, which is NO, and that was after I became a fan of BTS and actually have seen Bulletproof and Boy in Love. The only thing I could think like really spot out from the music video was V. And there are a lot of shots of V's sideline, and oh my god, he looks like a perfect doll. So if you haven't watched it, go and check it out because it looks perfect. The second video is obviously Bulletproof, and one person that stood out, even though as I said, I didn't really like the image, I think one person that stood out the most was Jungkook, because he had a bit of a boyish charisma, and I thought he looked cute, you know. And then the second person probably will be Jimin because he was dancing quite often, and I thought he was really good at dancing. And then we have Boy in Love, which is 상남자, and that's the first time I became the massive fan of BTS and massive fan of V. And yes, guys, V is mine, so do not touch him. He's mine forever. So when I first saw him, I just loved his hairstyle, his ear piercing, eyeliner, and even his lips. I thought he was perfect. Like I thought he was a perfect human being. And ever since that day, I say, you know what? I'm going to become ARMY, and I'm going to become a massive fan of V, most of all. So. And then we have Just One Day, and that's called Haruman. And I think that was the first time I became a fan of Red Monster. So before in the Bulletproof and also in the 상남자, that he had a bit of a tough look, like weird hair, weird accessories. So I just really felt I didn't really like his look much. So I didn't really put a lot of importance on him until Just One Day came out, and he had a bleached white hair and he had dimples, and I thought he looked so cute. And that's the moment when I finally realized, hey, guess what? Red Monster is pretty cool looking. And then we have Danger, and that's right after 상남자. And obviously, I was still a big fan of V. Only person I could see was V. So end of the story. Then we have 호르몬 전쟁, which is War of Hormone, and Jin looked really cool in his curly hair and the smile that he was making with his eyes. I thought, you know what, Jin. So I have to choose Jin for that music video as the person that stood out the most. And then we have Joro, which is a dope, and that's the first moment when I realized, hey, guess why? Suga is really cool. So I had that moment again where each music video I had one member that I was really massive fan of, and I will rewatch that part just to look at him. So I think Suga was like that for me. Because he has a really pale skin and he had a blonde hair, and he was wearing this army uniform that belongs to the general, so he looked really cool while he was like rapping in that uniform. And then another video that Suga stood out the most was Fire, which is 불타오르네, and he had the pale skin with the green grassy hair, and I think he's the only person who can actually pull that off. Nobody else even within BTS can pull that off apart from Suga, so he looked really cool. And then we are going back in time to No More Dream, and again the first couple of music videos of BTS, I think Jungkook is the one that they were trying to promote. So he had that very boyish charisma, and then the same Me came out like a couple of years back, and then Jungkook pretty much pulled a different type of charisma. So he had, instead of having the boyish charisma, he had the more matured charisma. I don't know whether that makes sense to you, but I don't know what is the other best way to explain this, but he was very much mature in this video. He was no longer a boy, he was actually a man. So he was dancing in this video, and I think he looked the most handsome in this video as well. So Jungkook for the same Me. And then we have the latest song from BTS, 피땀 눈물, which is Blood, Sweat and Tears. And Jin, obviously, he brought up the acting skill that he learned from university, and he had that look and impression on his face, and I have to choose him, and he's the best looking out from there. Then they had a side project while they were doing the reality show that I told you about. So they had a music video coming out called Oranai, which is Adult Child, and Suga, Ramon, Star and Jin were in it, and they all look good. So let's leave it at that. And then another video was beautiful, and Jungkook, Jimin, J-Hope and V were in it. Obviously they all look good and cute, and I was still a fan of V, so I was going crazy for V, but I think J-Hope looks the best in that music video. So I think if you have to choose one video where J-Hope looks the best, probably will be beautiful. So that's my personal opinion about the music videos, but you may ask why I love BTS. So like I said, I first got interested in BTS because of Bulletproof. I didn't like the image first, but I was into music quite a lot. I thought the music was catchy, the dance was really cool. And then sometimes I came out and, you know, I was gone. Music was great, BTS like dance skill was good, and then the V was really super good looking. So I became a massive fan of the BTS, right? And then I think I think they have a lot of potential, and I think that's one thing I like the most about BTS. I can see that they are gonna grow into a bigger group in the future time. So, you know, I can't wait to see them more and more. There you go. I've explained to you about BTS in groups, so hopefully you got to know about BTS a little bit more and find out how awesome this group is. So you should already know about BTS a lot because they're the biggest, one of the biggest group in Korea right now. So next week, I wanted to do something special, but in regards to BTS again, where I talk about the individual members and some of the funny stories or funny information that you may not be aware of. So stay tuned for next week, where I talk about your favorite members and all of the stories that you may wanted to find out about BTS before. So I'll see you guys next week, and just keep listening to BTS song for the time being. Okay, thank you. Bye.